Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are. I am hoping that you are being blessed. If not blessed yet, you will be blessed by the end of the day. How are you, everyone? Welcome to the Ndumodu Show. I'm your host, Ambassador Dr. Uwa Onyoha Osimiri. Ndumodu are words of wisdom that I share, and you can add to your repertoire. If you have not subscribed to this channel, Ndomodu TV on YouTube, please do so right away. Your support is very critical for ensuring that I continue to bring you all forms of entertainment and informative, or all forms of entertaining and informative discussion on a weekly basis. This show today is sponsored by Mano Angu Be Sweet, the body lotion for the discerning woman and man. I thank you for joining us today. Isn't it wonderful that you're here today? You're walking amongst the living. You've been blessed. You are one of the lucky few because so many people did not make it today. But here you are. Is that good? That's cause for celebration. Gratitude, gratitude. We give thanks to the Most High for this wonderful opportunity called today. Today's episode is Echoes of Despair, Reclaiming Our Humanity. Today we're diving deep into a troubling reality, humanity's loss of conscience when it comes to the treatment of our most vulnerable citizens. Recent events have highlighted a growing crisis. Here in America, many Section 8 tenants are facing eviction. And the hurricane disasters, and shockingly, some people respond to their suffering with laughter and indifference. I always say when people laugh at those who are doing the least of us, you just never know when it'll be your turn. See, things are cyclical. You may be doing well today, and tomorrow you may not. And that's why you have to make sure that you bank goodness so that you can cash out when it's time. In foreign lands right now, where there's war, many are languishing in the streets with no hope for salvation of any sort. Some people in Nigeria right now are languishing in refugee camps due to terrorism and the aftermath of extreme flooding. Now, this indifference is not just heartbreaking. It's a reflection of a deeper issue within society. Let's start with the current state of displacement. According to statistics, as of 2024, approximately 771,480 individuals in the United States alone are experiencing homelessness, a staggering 18% increase from the previous year. Among those individuals are a significant number of families, children, and veterans who have fallen on hard times. These statistics don't just represent numbers. They represent real lives filled with hopes and dreams that are now overshadowed by despair. Also, the statistics shows that 122 million, 122.1 million people at the end of April 2025 are forcibly displaced worldwide. This is just not here in the United States. We're talking about worldwide. And it includes refugees, asylum seekers, and internally displaced people. This number reflects a slight increase from the previous year, indicating ongoing global displacement challenges. And this has consequences. The impact that all of this has on people, sometimes we don't even pay attention to that. Sometimes it's almost like we don't care. But this displacement, homelessness, evictions, it has impact on the human beings who are impacted.
Comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when when September ends.
What we have to realize is that the people who are going through these challenges are human beings. They are human beings. They are not. They are not. They are not just people we can just ignore because they are part of our communities. They are part of who we are, and how we treat them may determine how we will be treated. So let's ask this question: why is all of this happening? The reality is that housing instability is a complex issue fueled by rising rents, stagnant wages, firings, and a lack of affordable housing is the worst part of not having any resources. Many people who rely on Section 8 right here in this country, and I'm speaking about this country because this is where I live, housing assistance, those who are on Section 8 housing assistance, they find themselves at the mercy of landlords who may choose to terminate leases, often with little regard for the impact that it has on families. This recent wave of evictions is a direct consequence of systemic issues that require attention. Now let's dive, or rather let's delve into the psychological impact of this crisis. Imagine being uprooted from your home, the place where your children have grown up, where you've built memories. For many, this leads to a cycle of despair and depression. Think about that. What is going on right now, you find the police or the landlord, representatives of the landlord will show up at the door and they ask the tenants to leave on the spot. Sometimes you get 24 hours if you're lucky. Sometimes you don't. Once they show up at that door, they're not necessarily leaving to come back. Once they show up at the door, if you're not prepared, that's it. You've got to go. So you find people distraught, begging not to have their things thrown in the streets. But it does get thrown in the streets. And some of these people have children. And I think for me, what is so disconcerting is the attitude of those who are fortunate not to be in that situation. Those who are laughing at them, laughing at those on Section 8, for instance. You can do better. Go get a job. And they forget that those who do have a job already are being kicked out. There are no jobs. Certainly not enough for the number of people looking for work now, because when you have hundreds of thousands that are losing their jobs, then common sense, where are the jobs? The jobs are being eliminated. And all those people are going to be looking for work. And that means there are more and more distressed people in society, people in despair, more people who are thrown into depression. You see, studies show that individuals experiencing homelessness face significantly higher rates of mental health issues. And then the sad part of it is that the funds for mental health issues are also cut. So where do they get help? The stress, the anxiety, and hopelessness that come with losing one's home can be devastating. If you've never experienced it before, you may not understand. If you don't have family that you can go and stay with while you're trying to build yourself up, you wouldn't understand the pain, the fear. And then you end up in the streets. And then you're told that you can't be in the streets, that you're cluttering the streets. And some people who have their cars taken away from them because they are in the streets. You can't park your car here. You don't have a home. You don't have a job. All that you have is a car. And you're trying to sleep in your car. Then the car is taken away from you Society is rotting mentally and spiritually. When we do that to people who are already down on their luck, how much further can you stomp a person down before you realize they can't go any further? It's how the society is reacting to all this pain that, quite frankly, society is also helping cause. When you tell a woman who has 6 children, they have to go and get a job, have you considered what that means? Babysitting, transportation back and forth. How does that happen? So it's not just the parents that are being punished, also the children. Because when parents can provide, the kids can provide for themselves. You cannot have people starving to death. And the weather is changing. It's getting cold. I guess for me, what really gets me is those people who think, and I was watching one of these individuals on TikTok that was talking about laughing at this poor lady who they walked into her house and they told her she had to go. She had to go. But she's saying, I don't have family. I don't have anywhere to go. What do I do? Please don't take my things. Could I see if I can? Nope, you've got to go. So that person is another addition to the homeless community that we have. But even that is endangered. You can't be homeless because, you know, those who are wealthy can't stand to see all that poverty. And yet the instruments put in place to help those who are struggling are being removed. And I'm not just talking about the EU, I'm talking about worldwide. I'm from Nigeria. There are many people displaced due to terrorism, displaced due to flooding. They're not getting any help. Or if they get any help, it's one-time feeding, something like that. That's not what they need. They need some consistency, consistent resources. And then you have the people who have the nerve to laugh at them and call them lazy. Now, I'm not naive. There are some individuals that could do better if they could. If they could, that's the thing. If there's resources available to them, yes. But when there's no resources, when there are no resources, what are they supposed to do? We need to develop a little bit more empathy. Those of us who have the voice, those of us who are doing podcasts and all that, don't put people down when they're down on their luck, because today is them. Tomorrow it's you. Now, hey, listen, there are people who have been down on their luck and tomorrow they, you know, something positive happens for them or happened to them, whatever. But then there's those who have been rich, wealthy, and they lose everything. That happens. It's called life. You don't know when that will happen to you. You can't say it wouldn't happen to you. You don't know. That's what it's called, life. Life happens to everyone. So instead of we showing empathy, many of us show apathy and ridicule. People laugh at the misfortune of others, forgetting that anyone can face hardship. That's the, I want to drive that home. If you think it's going to happen to just other people, but not to you, you're mistaken. We must ask ourselves, how did we get here as people, as human beings? How did we get to a place of apathy towards the suffering of fellow human beings? I've been there personally. I've seen poverty, the worst kind of poverty. I think I've talked about this before. But during the war, during the Nigerian Biafran War, where we couldn't even find water to drink, we were drinking water mixed with kerosene, throwing up. We were that parched. Or what is it? Many people were eating mice, rats, anything. We even learned how to catch rats. Oh yeah, you may laugh, you may say, ugh, but that was reality. My parents were wealthy, but during the war, all of that disappeared. Now, I'm not saying that my parents laughed at anybody. The point I'm trying to make, however, is we were very well, my parents were well off. My father was the head of the Eastern Nigerian Development Corporation. So we were doing very well. We lived in one of those really nice neighborhoods. Then the war hit, and that was it. And after a while, there was just nothing left. We went from one place to the other. Poverty started to set in, severe poverty, where my parents couldn't. My father used to ride this old rickety bicycle for many, many miles just to go and get maybe a piece of something, yam, corn filled with worms. Yeah, it sounds nasty, but that was our reality. We ate everything. We ate ants. The ants that you I don't know what those particular ants, they have big heads, and we had to catch them. We ate locusts. We used to go into the bushes to look for locusts and gather those and stir fry them. Yes. So I've been there. I know the scope. I know what that does to the mind, particularly my parents, what that did to them when they realized that they couldn't feed their kids. We used to go when the Red Cross will bring food, and we wanted something to eat. My mother would dress us in real raggedy clothing so that we will look hungry, which we were. We were hungry. And we were dressed in some way to convince the Red Cross that we deserved to be fed too. But we weren't thin enough. Our stomachs were not protruding enough. You couldn't count our ribs. We still had a little bit of skin left on us. So we didn't deserve to be fed, and we'll be chased away. Poverty. Poverty can impact the mind in a very difficult way. So for those of us who think that these people who don't have it just want to be lazy, sure, there may be some people taking advantage of the system, but not all of them. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of people who are working 2-3 jobs and still on Section 8 just to help make ends meet. Now they've lost that. Now, if you don't have a home, how do you have a job? Because most jobs want your address. What address do you give? And if your car is taken, how do you get to work? And if you don't have a job, you can't even pay for a bus. People need to understand it. When members of society are suffering, it is not the time for us to laugh at them. It is not. For those of us who are lucky, think about what you're doing. Think about laughing at somebody who was just struggling to start with, because living in Section 8 homes where there, some of them are nice, I suppose, but majority of them are small places, maybe small apartments or whatever. So it's not like these people are living in the lap of luxury, because they're not. And when they lose what little they have, we laugh at them. What are you laughing about? Because you think it will not hit you? You think if the flood, the hurricanes hit, you will not be in the same place. If nobody brings you any help, there goes you. Life has a way of teaching us a lesson. I always say, bank goodness, so that when the time comes, somebody will see you and be interested in your well-being. Don't laugh at those who are struggling. What I'm doing here is trying to share thoughts with you, something that many of you already know. Many of you are already thinking along the lines of what I'm thinking. And if that's the case, bless your heart. I don't know what it says about a society when we turn a blind eye to suffering. All these people we see in the streets, we walk past on the road, in the streets, these are human beings. Many of them were engineers. Some of them were lawyers. You don't know what caused them. Some of them maybe because of divorce, they lost everything. You don't know why people struggle, and you laugh at them. I can't believe how we act. I have the attitude that I bank goodness. That's my attitude. I believe very strongly that what I do for my fellow human beings is what I will be, how I'll be blessed. The Most High will say, "Ah, you done good, my child," and I just may get goodness back. But for those of you who laugh, and yes, in the U.S., I live here, and I watch some of these shows where people are so cruel. The level of cruelty. And you can't sit behind whatever it is you are. You're able to eat 3 meals a day, and then you judge a woman who has 6 kids. Oh, she's lazy. Have you ever considered what it takes to take care of 6 kids? Where do you send six kids? Where do you send them? Where do you send 6 kids so you can work and you have no car? How do you do it? I don't know, for some of you who take a lift, have you ever taken a lift to go to 5 miles from your home? You know how much that costs? That costs a lot of money. We need to come down from our high horses. Those of us who are still lucky enough, we need to come down from our high horses and be kind to humanity. It's not enough to go to church every Sunday and you brag that you go to church. It's not enough. Show me your religion. Don't tell me about it. What you do for your fellow human beings actually is what demonstrates who you are. That's what tells me what your religion is. If you're kind to your fellow human beings, your religion is telling me. You know, we want the blame game. Yes, the Democrats are the reason for the government shutdown. That's what they want to tell us. Well, here's the thing. I'm not sure what it says about you when you think that a particular group of people who live in a particular place should be punished, while those who live in another area should not be punished. I'm not sure what you're banking. Remember what I said about banking goodness. What are you banking? What exactly are you saying to the Most High? What? If you see a woman and a man who have many children, please don't judge them. Look, I don't care why they got on Section 8 or why they're on 8. If you have that many kids, forget about how they got there. Just show enough empathy for them given their condition where they are right now. Many of these homeless people are forgotten. We don't care about them. They don't matter. But if you sit down with a homeless person and you listen to their story, it's amazing, some of them, who they are. Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast today is really a call to action. We need to reclaim our conscience, and show kindness. I'm beating that like a drum. We need to challenge ourselves and each other to foster compassion. Today is them, tomorrow is you. Look, that's life. You can I know I've seen videos of people, big sports people in entertainment who had millions, and all of a sudden they're in the streets working at a car wash. Life happens. You just don't know when it'll be your turn. You don't know when it'll be your turn. We always pray. Our responsibility as human beings should be to pray for others when they are not doing well. We need to be challenged. If you are out there looking down and laughing at people who are being kicked out in the street because you think they are too lazy, they deserve it, no more freebie, forget the elders, or the older people that you want to hate. What about these little ones? Is it their fault? Can you at least pause and show compassion for the little ones who are going to be suffering, that will be dying? The cold weather is coming. There going to be lots of, and then the other thing is, a lot of the people who are in the streets are being removed. We don't know where they're going, but they're being removed because they are an eyesore human beings. I'm looking at us as human beings to speak up on behalf of those who need help. You know, if you have nothing else to do with your afternoon, once a month, if you will, consider volunteering at local shelters. And if you can advocate, go to the meetings held by your representatives and advocate for policies that support affordable housing, or simply listening to the stories of those impacted by this crisis. It's important to listen to them. Because when you hear what your fellow human beings are going through, you will not be the same. You will not be the same. Kindness is free. And it's a good thing to be a kind person, because that is what you would want for yourself. In the Igbo Nigerian language, you say, don't leave your brother and sister behind. Thank God for those who have families who can help them. Thank God for that. And if you're a family member, you can help a family member, do that. Do that. Because that family member one day may make it in life, and you will be beholden to them. You don't know. Never say to your child, oh, you grown, you should take care of yourself. Don't ever do that. Because if circumstances were correct, most of our children would like to be on their own. I'm not so sure there's any child, any person who wants to be underneath mom and dad forever. No. But if circumstances cause them to be, have the kindness in your heart to understand. Every small act of kindness, ladies and gentlemen, can make a difference in the lives of others. I'm saying what I'm saying because I've been there. If you haven't been there, don't pray for it. Thank God after the war, my parents were able to bounce back, and they bounced back really well. But I've seen the pain in my mother's eyes, my father's tired eyes, sunken in, riding a bicycle for miles and still sometimes comes back with nothing, not a morsel of food. The despair on his face, my mother's despair, all these children, 9 children, and nothing to feed them. She'll go in the bushes and find. How that woman survived, I don't know, because she used to go in the bushes and she will find leaves, whatever, and try them out. If it doesn't kill her, then she'll think it's good enough to feed her family. People who don't have money, who don't have the resources, they're not bad people. And we should stop looking at them and putting them down. I'm sorry, I get emotional. Alikali, that's what we call them. Those who are downtrodden, sometimes, someday in the future, you never know, they will rise from the valley. And you look at them and they're on the mountaintop, and you find yourself coming down from the mountaintop, going down to the valley, and you want them to reach out and grab you. You just never know. Don't underestimate life's lessons. Sometimes bad things happen to you to teach you that you're not alone in this world, and you can't be alone, and you need everybody. You can't help the world, you can't help everybody, but small acts of kindness can make a difference. Even if it's just one person, if you dedicate your time to help one person, that's good enough. But don't turn your back. Do not ridicule those who are suffering. As I saw this young man, I didn't want to show, I didn't want to show his video. I didn't even want to give it that kind of play. I didn't even want anybody to know his name. He's insignificant. But the fact of the matter is there are people like him looking down on those who are struggling and calling them lazy. Ha ha. You were getting off. They were, you on Section 8. You think it was forever. You only got 2 years to get. What if within 2 years you don't? I know people who have tried for years and they haven't been able to get a job. And you say, well, they need to go back to school. With what kind of money? You don't just go back to school. Universities being shut down or losing funds. People are working. You got a working poor, paying back student loans, can't afford an apartment, can't afford a house. They have to live with family. Those who are lucky, of course. There are many who don't have family. But we have the audacity to laugh at them. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that everybody in our community make up this part of our community. The poor, the middle class, and the wealthy. They're all part of the community. The wealthy do not know that they're wealthy because without the poor. And it is the poor that's buying their products. So all these people who are very, very wealthy, good for them. But let's not forget who is making them wealthy. You, the common man. That's what makes them rich. There's no rich man without a poor person, because that poor person or that middle class person, they're the ones buying your products and making you rich. When they stop, look at what happened to Disney World, ABC, when they were suspended Jimmy Kimmel. Society said, okay, let's show you where your wealth comes from, because you've forgotten. The very people you look down on are the people who are paying your rent. They are paying your mortgage. The mansions you live in, it's the poor people who are buying your products. And when they pull back, you realize quickly you're not as rich as you thought you were. I know you're not. That's why we say, don't leave your brothers and sisters behind. We are all part of a community. When we embrace empathy, we not only uplift others, but also enrich our own lives. I was saying to my son yesterday, I said, son, do you know one of the things that makes me happy? I'm not a millionaire. I do well. I'm living a good life. But you know what makes me the happiest? Is when I do for someone. That's where my joy comes from. He says, yeah, mom, I see you do that. I said, my greatest joy is a drug for me. If kindness was a drug, I'm doped up. I love it because of what it does to my spirit, what it does to my heart, what it does to me. It allows me not to look down, but to look up. Because when you look up, you can get up. Once you're down, if you look up, you can get up. When you're good, when you're doing good things, you can always look up because you know you will be able to get up. You know you're banking. I say to myself, ooh, how much goodness have I banked? And you need to ask yourself that, frankly, how much goodness have you banked? What are you going to cash in? Can you cash in? When things go wrong in your life, will there be somebody there to give you a helping hand? Huh? Will there be somebody there? Will there be somebody to help you, give you a helping hand when you need it? And you will need it too. You will need it. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. You will need it. I don't care if you're rich or poor, you're going to need. Do you realize that the kindest people are really those who are poor? If you see the homeless person, are you hungry? A homeless person will give you something to eat. They are banking goodness. Because someday, maybe somebody, the universe will see what they've done and help them. I've seen that. Sometimes the richest people are the cruelest. Hey, listen, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be rich. I am not saying anything like that. We should all aspire to be enriched. We should all aspire to be wealthy. But I'm telling you, If you want to feel the kind of drugs that people go and take, all those, that's not the kind of drug you want. The drug of human kindness, that's a high. Try it if you haven't done it. Try it. Have $1 in your pocket and you see somebody who hasn't had something to drink, who hasn't had something to eat, and you give them that dollar. And it always seems to happen. I gave somebody $5. I went to the bathroom and I found $5 on the floor. Well, I didn't keep it. I said, more money to give away, because I believe that somewhere down the line, more will come to me. That's a high. If you want to help other people, just remember, it comes back to you. It comes back to you. Are you part of a community, or do you think you're on your own? You're not on your own. We're all part of a community. If our community, in my village, if you don't have a road to your house, they laugh at you. I don't care how big your house is, how fancy it is. They will laugh at you because you haven't done anything to contribute to the community. You're just showing the community how rich you are. You're flaunting your wealth, but you are not sharing your wealth. And when we say share your wealth, we don't say give away your money. That's not the point. Share to some degree. Share with those around you who need your help. Share with them. If you can, if you don't have, if you're a wealthy man or you're a big time politician, and all we see is this big fancy home that you've got, but there's no road leading from the main road to your village or to your house. Excuse me. Pardon me. You have not achieved anything. In my village, they'll laugh at you. Look at that one. They call you a fake. Look at that one. He's bragging. What are you bragging about? What are you bragging about? There's nothing to brag about when your people are poor, your people are starving, and you're big. I've got a Rolls Royce. I've got a big yacht. My yacht is worth $570 million. Guess what? The day that you leave this earth, they're not burying you with your yacht. Trust me on that. I suppose we all know that. They're not going to bury you with your yacht. My father always told me it's not your money that makes you, that people remember. There are many, many rich people who are in the graveyard and nobody knows them. You go there and you say, so-and-so Thomas this, or Ngozi this, or whatever. If they haven't made a difference in the world, they own nothing. They didn't even exist. Because your actions, what you leave behind, not your wealth, because that wealth goes to somebody else. Yeah, they're going to have a good time eating your money. But your name is what's going to live after you leave this earth. And part of what you do is to be kind to others. Give your support where the support is needed. Don't laugh. Don't ever, ever laugh at those people who are struggling. I see too much of that. When you see somebody that's, and I saw a video that just really turned my stomach. The poor woman walks into the grocery store and she grabs a drink. It was obvious that she's homeless. And it's certainly obvious that she doesn't have money. So the people who worked there were telling him, do not steal. We are capturing you on film. Do not steal, because we are going to submit it to the police. Do not steal. Now, listen, I am not advocating that anybody should steal. But when you see somebody thirsty and all you can think about is to film them and send it to the police to get them arrested, and you feel good about yourself, what you could do is say, ma'am, I'll buy you the drink. You don't have to steal. No, that's not what you said. What you said to her is, I'm going to report you to the police because how dare you take something to drink? When somebody is at their wits' end, when they have gone as low as they possibly can and they can't even breathe, They don't care about you calling the police. All that woman saw was something that's going to quench her thirst. And then you have some people arguing, well, she could have taken water. Why did she take juice? Does it matter? Does it matter what a person at her wit's end chooses to drink? Your role is to be empathetic and say, I'll buy you the drink. And then some woman will say, somebody give this woman something to drink. What about you? You couldn't buy her that's $2 something maximum, that those drinks. But all we were doing is trying to make sure that she understands we're going to report you. But this is our attitude. This is our attitude. This is the attitude we've adopted. They, the poor, we, the fortunate ones. But what we don't remember or we don't want to face is that someday that might be you. There's a poem that says, I shall pass this way but once. Any good things or any good deeds that I can do, let me do it now. Let me not defy it, for I shall not pass this way again. What have you done when you have breath? Were you busy laughing at those who are losing their homes? There are some streets just littered with people's belongings. And no amount of begging matters. Just get out. Just get out. You don't matter, because what matters is money. What matters is money. Humanity doesn't matter. A poor, hungry child does not matter. A man on drugs, oh, how awful, he's a druggie. But you don't even want to know, why is he on drugs? Perhaps he's on drugs because there's nothing else. Perhaps he's on drugs because he has no, certainly we're not advocating that people should be on drugs. The problem is we've stopped seeing people. We see money and conditions. And depending on the condition, that determines how we act, how we react, how we care, if we care at all. Well, I choose to care. And you should too. Homelessness can happen to anyone. And those people that you're laughing at today, some of them had good jobs. You know, here in the United States, federal workers are being fired. These are people with homes, with cars, with children in college. It's not a good thing for us to turn our backs. Listen, if you don't have anything kind to say to a homeless person, please just don't say anything. Just walk on by. Just walk on by. But what you're looking at may not be the whole story. There may be a story behind that poor man who's unshaven, that woman whose hair is matted, that man whose teeth is off, that child who's holding a pan, asking for alms. There's a story behind all of that. Instead of being critical, ask yourself, what can I do to help? Take the time and ask, what can I do to help? We can always help. We can always help. All of us can help. I'm going to take one quick moment and I'm going to play the video of our sponsor today, Manuango.
Pamper your skin with our Honey Nectar Body Cream. Enriched with honey, it deeply hydrates for soft, glowing skin. Silky smooth, sweetly scented, and perfect for any moment because you deserve it. Power up your skincare with our Honey Nectar Body Cream. Infused with honey, it hydrates and protects, leaving skin smooth and refreshed. With a subtle, masculine scent, it's confidence in a jar.
Yes, indeed, Manango. Be sweet for those who care to take care of their bodies. It's such a beautiful cream, and you can get it from Shopify. And I just want to end my program today by sharing some thoughts that I hope that you can. This is a tomato. This is what tomato is. Words of wisdom. And I want you to listen intently to what I'm about to share with you. It's a summation, it's a summary of what the intent of this show is. So I say to you as we wrap up today, I want you to reflect on how you can contribute to a more compassionate society. What role can you play? See, together we can create a world where laughter is shared in joy, not at the expense of others' pain. You don't laugh at others' pain. You laugh because of joy. Joy for yourself and joy for others who need a little bit of your time, a little bit of your kindness, a little bit of less ridicule. And we must express ourselves deep gratitude to the Most High for the opportunities and blessings that we've received. Oh, thank you, the divine, for those goodness that we have been blessed with, because some of us have been blessed. Yes, you must be grateful. But then there are those among us who are not facing, for those of us who are not facing immediate struggles, it is essential for that we acknowledge and give thanks for the abundance in our life. Because yes, some of us have such abundance, it's just ridiculous. Thank you, Chineke, for that. There's nothing wrong with having something. But too often we may take our good fortune for granted, forgetting that circumstances can change unexpectedly. Think about what I'm just saying to you. Circumstances may change unexpectedly. You who have it today may not have it tomorrow, and the person who has it, who doesn't have it today, may have it tomorrow. And depending on what goodness you put out in the universe, you may bank goodness from the person who has turned wealthy because of what you've done, what you put in the universe. They see you, they see you, they know what you've done. But if you haven't done anything, don't expect something you didn't give out. Don't expect something you did not put out in the universe that you can cash in eventually. Don't expect that. See, life has a way of shifting. And that's why I always say, be careful. Gente, nuifen. Listen up. Today you're eating ice cream. Tomorrow you may be scraping it off the floor because you ain't got enough money. Tomorrow you may be digging in the trash. As I see some individuals digging in the trash looking for something to eat. Who knows what their lives were before? But things changed unexpectedly most times. And here they are. Just because it's them doesn't mean it can't be you. Understand that. Just because it's them today doesn't mean it couldn't be you tomorrow. We must bear that in mind. We may find ourselves facing hardships because of society. Sometimes it's the society we live in that will force hardship on you. Today, there are many, many people here in America who are being laid off. Laid off. These are human beings. These are not puppets. These are not toys. These are human beings with human needs and responsibilities. They're losing everything, losing everything. Think about that. If you've got a roof over your head, hey, thank Chineke. Thank God. Thank whatever your source of inspiration. But just remember, you live in the country, see what society is doing. Gradually, it may hit you. Hardship is not for just a few. Hardship can be spread quite well amongst humanity. The question would be, when does it hit you? When does it touch you? Would it touch you? Who knows? Pray that it doesn't. But if life is cyclical, if life is going to be life, life will happen to you. Bank goodness by thinking and giving goodness to others. Support where you can. If you have a family member who's struggling, give support. Don't think twice. Don't justify your reason for not being helpful. Because that person that you look down on today may be the one that will feed you tomorrow. And you know that happens. I said it earlier. By the grace of the Almighty, the fallen, the ones in the valley will rise, and you will meet them on your way down while they are rising. I don't wish anybody any bad luck. I want everybody to prosper. But again, just remember, what you put out there in the universe, it comes back to you. It comes back to you one way or the other. You may think you're doing very well. There's some of the politicians who think, oh, they got it all covered. I'm doing well. No, you're not. It's temporary. It's all temporary, because life is going to be life. It will happen to you. It will. Maybe not today, but tomorrow is pregnant. You don't know what tomorrow will bring. And because you don't know, you be careful. Because everything you put in that womb will be birthed at your feet tomorrow. It is important to remain thankful for what we have, but we must also remember that not everyone shares the same experience. That's the point of this podcast. Not everybody shares the same experience. There are many who are currently here in the United States, all over the world, facing challenges, whether it be financial, emotional, or otherwise. Many people are depressed today. Suicide ideation is so high because for some people are actually getting rid of their whole families because they can't take care of them. Despair can make you do crazy things. It is our responsibility as individuals and as a community to offer heartfelt prayers for positive change in their lives. But more than that, we should look for concrete ways to support those who are struggling. Check on your neighbor. I know we live in a country where most people don't even see each other. I noticed that my neighbor that I used to see outside mowing her lawn and trying to remove debris, I see her. But all of a sudden, I stopped seeing her. Well, I could have gone about my business. I could have said, well, it's not my business, But I knew it, to me, it seemed like something was off. Where was she? Because I see her, and every time I go for a walk, she won't say, hi, neighbor. I noticed that she's always doing that. But this time I didn't see her. So I took the time to go and see, hey, is she okay? Only to find out she had passed away. She had cancer. She had died. How did I feel about that? Could I have gone more often? She was very nice to me. We were, she was always waving. I always see her going for a walk. But when I didn't see her, I didn't immediately say, hey, what's happening with her? I waited until it was too late. When you know that your neighbor or a friend or whomsoever or family member is struggling, this is the time, ladies and gentlemen, that's when you go. That's your bank. That person you're hoping, that person you're helping, that's your bank. That's the bank right there. Because what you do for them, how you support those who are struggling, your banking, what you give them is your banking what you're going to withdraw. Your acts of kindness, your words of encouragement, or tangible assistance. That's what you're banking when you help others. Now, I say that we should be grateful for what we have, but gratitude should not lead to complacency or indifference. Just because you're grateful doesn't mean, okay, I've done my part. I've said thank you to the Most High for the goodness I've received. That's not enough. You're not banking anything. And if I can leave you guys today, remember what I said. Wherever you go, each and every day, you ask yourself, what did I bank today? In other words, what's going to come back to me? We should be inspired to extend our compassion to others. Inspiration because of the banking. Now, listen, I know we're all struggling. There's so many people who are struggling. You may not have money to give. But I was walking, I tell you that this lady made my day. I was dressed in gold outfit, and of course my hair gold and my gold earrings. I was just in gold, dressed up in gold, because guess what? I was feeling mighty good. This woman came out of her car and she looked at me. She says, "Oh my God, wait a minute, wait a minute. It's just too bright out here. Oh, you just made my day," she said. "You look gorgeous." Let me tell you, that woman made my day. I was walking on the cloud nine all day long because of her kind words. She didn't have to give me anything. That was words of encouragement, telling me, whatever you're doing, keep doing, mama. You look good, blah, 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 blah. All that sort of thing. That's kindness. You can give that. Just a kind word. If you see somebody on the street and you see that they're looking down and they seem sad, you'll be amazed at what happens when you give them a kind word. Oh, girl, look at you. You look beautiful. Oh, I'm so glad to see you today. You just made my... Whatever you say, it can be so uplifting. If you don't have money to give, have some kind words to give. Make a donation. You know, we see many of you see GoFundMe, and you say, it's not, I don't know this person, so I'm not going to give. Guess what? You don't even have to give more than $5. Hey, you don't have $5? Give $2. Make it anonymous. Every little bit that we do can increase. I was looking at I made my donation, but a woman whose daughter was dying. She needs a heart transplant. It's going to cost a lot of money. They found a heart, but they don't have the money. So that baby is going to die. It's going to cost $75,000 or something like that for the initial process. $75,000. And that 8 weeks into the GoFundMe, all they have raised is $2,300. My God. My God. You mean to tell me there's no rich man or woman out there that can give 10,000? When we walk around here and show that we're dressed in somebody's name, I don't even call all those names, but you know how we are, you know, I'm dressed in this fancy whatever. That many weeks into the GoFundMe, they have not raised anything beyond. They haven't even gotten up to 3,000, because many people say it's not my business. You know, poor baby. Oh, God bless it. You know, we are so eager to bless people, to ask God, please bless, please bless. That's not what people need at that moment. They need your money. They need your support. So when you go banking, ladies and gentlemen, just don't go banking to put money in the bank account. Go banking to bank goodness, so that goodness shall follow you wherever you may go. Let's continue to give thanks for what we have, never take our blessings for granted, and remain ever cognizant of those who are going through difficult times, ladies and gentlemen. May our gratitude move us to action, and may our prayers and efforts bring hope and positive change to those in need. Please, I beg you, never look down on the struggle, on those struggling. Don't do that. I want to thank you for listening to Echoes of Despair, Reclaiming Our Humanity. Join me next time as we continue to explore the challenges we face and how we can collectively work towards a brighter future for all. I want to thank you, Sovereign, for all your comments. I want to thank you, Tabitha, DOCC, etc., etc. Thank you all for joining us today. And I'm hoping that something I said to you today touched you in some way, that you will go out there and be the source of good for humanity. Because guess what? That is our role. That's what we're supposed to do. So that someday, when we are in the same situation as others, somebody will be there to help us. Thank you for joining me. You all take care. Many blessings.